Okay, so today we're going deep on Oloture, this 2019 Nigerian crime drama.
Yo, yeah.
And, it really dives into like a really, really dark world.
Yeah, it does.
And the story of a young journalist who goes undercover to try and expose the world of human trafficking.
Right.
And the most crazy part is that this fictional story is actually rooted in real-life investigative journalism. So
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be intense and real and gritty.
It'll be eye-opening for sure.
Absolutely.
So Oloture, the main character, is played by Sharon Uja. And at the start, she's portrayed as, kind of naive and trusting.
Right.
I mean, how's she going to make it in this crazy world, especially in Lagos, Nigeria?
Well, and that setting is key. I mean, Lagos becomes almost like a character in the film itself.
Oh, for sure.
Its vibrancy and its culture and poverty and opportunity all mixed in there.
The whole city is a character.
Yeah. I mean, those markets, the streets, it all plays a role.
Oh, absolutely. And you can feel it like right there with you as you watch.
First.
And her mission to expose the underworld of human trafficking. Well, it's not like a glamorous spy thing.
No, not at all.
These are women who are lured into sex work with promises of a better life.
Right.
And then they're exploited, shipped overseas, the whole thing,
Yeah, and what makes this even more gripping is that Oloture is actually based on a real journalist.
Oh, really?
Tabor Overy, and she risked her own life going undercover to expose these same networks.
Wow.
Yeah, and her work inspired the film, which, kind of blurs the lines between fiction and reality.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you realize that this stuff really happens.
So you mentioned Tabor's work, and I'm so curious. How do you even begin to infiltrate these networks?
Well, you'll see Oloture has to adopt a new identity, gain trust, document everything while living in fear for her safety.
Yeah.
I mean, one wrong move,
That's intense.
Yeah, it's high stakes.
But I can't imagine the challenges as a woman in that world. Like, did the film touch on that?
Oh, absolutely. Oloture, just like Tabor, faces threats and manipulation and prejudice.
Right.
I mean, it shows the risks, the very real risks that women journalists take on when covering stories like this.
It's a whole other level of danger.
Yeah, the film doesn't shy away from that.
Wow, she's walking a tightrope the whole time.
Yeah, basically.
So we have this crazy story. It's rooted in reality, and filming began in November 2018, which makes it feel even more relevant.
Right.
But can a story really change the world?
That is the question, right?
It is.
I mean, films can reach so many people, and they can evoke empathy in a way that, news reports maybe can't.
You think so?
Yeah, by putting a human face on these complex issues, the fear, the desperation, it forces viewers to confront something they might otherwise ignore.
So it's not just about awareness, you're saying it's about change.
Exactly. I mean, Tabor's work, for example, exposed the horrific conditions these women faced.
Yeah.
The complicity of authorities, the whole network. So her work and the film, they challenge us to not just watch, but to ask, what can I do?
That's a heavy question.
It is.
But is storytelling enough to combat something as ingrained as human trafficking? It's not just about changing minds.
No, you're right.
It's about systems and accountability and real solutions.
Yeah, and that's where the conversation needs to go. It can inspire action, but it needs to be coupled with real, tangible efforts.
Absolutely.
Addressing the root causes like poverty and demand, it's a multifaceted problem.
It's a huge problem, but we've covered so much about Oloture.
We have.
Its connection to investigative journalism, the realities of human trafficking, the impact of stories, and whether they can spark change.
Right.
So the question for you listening is awareness enough?
Good question.
Do we need to move beyond these narratives and into tangible action?
Lots to think about.
Yeah. If you're interested in learning more, seek out the film. Learn about Tabor Overy and her work.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Okay. That's it for our deep dive on Oloture.
Thanks for listening.
Catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.